My name's Levi, and I'm the director of An Eighth of Him. This film is about a drug dealer who starts to grow feelings for one of the people that he's selling to, and we see their relationship grow and dissolve over a year. And it's kind of about the pressures of the outside world and how they affect us when it comes to the people that we really might love.
Out of all of the stories that you could have told, why this one?
Oh, that's probably a great question for the writer of the film, who he wanted to make a movie that was about kind of the pressures of being black, male, and queer, and then also like how that can manifest itself in kind of different environments, and maybe some environments where you wouldn't expect it. So I know he was really inspired by, he was in a show called I May Destroy You, and when he was working with Michaela Cole on the show, she really inspired him to like go and write his own stuff because he's an actor, and he's in the movie. So I think that's really where the inspiration came from. Yeah.
What about for you? What connected for you?
For me, like, I just really felt like I wanted to represent South London and young black men in a really different way, and in a really sensual and sensitive and sexual way that we don't usually see. And I just felt really connected to the demographic of the story, really, because I'm like that demographic. So when I read the script at the time, it made a lot of sense. But it was quite a much longer, bigger kind of movie at the time. And then that kind of changed as we got through the process more and more.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of filmmaking. And it resulted in a beautiful film, so you guys should be really proud of yourself.
Thank you.
And so do you usually write, and I think you co-wrote for this, right?
Yeah, I did. Oh my
It's
God.
like shit.
No, yeah, I did.
Got it right.
Yeah.
And you directed, obviously.
Yeah.
So is that what you usually do, writing, directing?
Writing and directing is, my usual thing. But sometimes, I get people, sounds like so, people call me sometimes and they're like, hey, we have a script, do you want to read it? And I'm really open to like directing people's scripts. And sometimes you just kind of need to get in there with your own fingers and kind of put your fingers through it a little bit. And Samson, who was the co-writer, the writer, this was his first script ever. So for him, there was like a lot to learn, and he already developed it with the producer for about a year. So it was a really in-depth process, and I really enjoyed that. And I've kind of just been on this, I've now done a few films now where I haven't written the film, or I've just been a co-writer on the film. There is kind of something so different when you write and direct your own movie. Like, it's like, I don't know, it's just like a different experience than when you're sort of sharing the creative experience with other people, because then you kind of have to compromise in some ways.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, yeah.
And I imagine for something so personal as well, like it must have been a bit hard for him to like give up a little bit.
Definitely when they're an actor as well. This is kind of becoming a common thing of like actors being writers, and then being involved in that whole process, because when they're on set, sometimes they're thinking of every single word that they wrote that they have to say, and it's like, you don't have to worry about that. Like, really, we're already shooting the movie. You just have to focus on kind of like the moment and being open to what's happening in the moment. So you'd like, I'm not gonna lie, I think this happens on every movie that I direct that I've written with somebody else or somebody else has written. I'll send a letter when we have like the final cut and be like, I'm sorry, I didn't do good enough. Like, I wish it could be better. But that's just because, that person's dreamed of a movie for such a long time, and you're obviously doing your best. And even if you made a good movie, it's not going to be the dream, right? But it's kind of managing expectations as a director. Like those things, there are things that are going to fall away. And this movie, I think the original cut was like probably 30 minutes long. And then there were a lot of scenes that we cut out, there were a lot of scenes that we shot that were cut out during the editing process. You probably could have made a whole movie with that stuff. And it's kind of like you just have to be like, create an understanding where they feel like you still care about the essence of the film, and you're just focusing on that rather than you're just killing babies because of whatever reason, like you want ego control or something, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of managing expectations and being honest, I guess.
Yeah, and like having that trust, like you said, it seems like there's a strong trust there.
Yeah.
Between like a writer and like a director.
Oh my god, yeah, it's a very close relationship, which is why if you're writing and directing, it's so smooth, because you sort of, well, at least I treat it like separate people. The version of me that wrote the film.
Yep.
And it's like, cool, you did some good things, but also you did some stupid things, so I can just be harsh on you.
Yeah,
you know.
Exactly.
but if it's like the actual person's still there, and maybe they're seeing cuts, or you know they're on set, that you kind of have to keep explaining things, and you know you can't just cut stuff out because, oh, I had this feeling today to cut it. You know, you have to be like, I believe. So, yeah.
If you could leave us with some final thoughts, we would love to know what you kind of hope to achieve, like with your current film and like the future films that you like write or direct.
I guess the point for me is to represent cultures and people and show or inspire people that there's a different way of living. I think there's a lot of things in the world that are becoming quite stale in that they're not evolving when they should be. And I think film is a great way to open people up to that evolution, where they can see people's lives and look into different cultures and become a part of that and see the humanity in those things. And maybe they'll go home with something different and look at the world differently, or like look at a person in a different way. And that's kind of the only reason why I bother. And then hopefully I can learn as well whilst I'm actually making a thing. So that's usually nice.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much.